welcome back. Been a crazy couple of weeks. That's all I can tell you. My family and I went to Florida for a week, and all of a sudden, the entire economy kind of just flipped on its ear, and that was to be expected, right? I mean, we knew this was coming, and today we're talking about what's going on. I'm going to show you a little bit about what's going on in the market across the nation. As far as inventory is concerned. But today we're talking about rates. Rates went up. I think we're at 70 basis point or 75 basis points, which means it's considerably more expensive to buy a house today, which means rates have gone up. I'm seeing how rates go anywhere from, 5 to 6.5. And here's, I've been doing a lot of research on this. The last couple of weeks, I've been like just kind of hunkering down, trying to figure out what's going on, doing some research, not necessarily from the news, because, I don't pay attention to news. I pay attention to experts and some things that are going to happen. We need to have happen, to be honest with you. And it sucks. But at the same time, we need it to happen because we have runaway inflation. And it's just, 1970s again, 1980s again. It's just something that we need to pay for the last couple of years. And that's what's happening. So rates have gone up to 6.5. If you have a jumbo, it's 5.5. And a jumbo is anything over 780, depending on where you live, what county you live in the United States. There's talk of people saying, what happens if it goes up to 10 and 11%? And it possibly could. Back in the 80s, we had the same thing going on. In the early 80s, we were seeing, 13, 14, 18% on interest rates on houses. Granted, they weren't this price, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Gas is siphoning our savings. Stock market's taking a tank. The economy's, depending on who you ask, right? The economy's doing well, but is it really? I just saw somewhere a news report that lumber prices, which went stupid high last year, like it was like $8 for a 2x4. It's ridiculous. Those prices have plummeted because construction demands have waned. So a few weeks ago, I was saying, hey, guess what? Unemployment, that's what's next. We're going to start seeing lots and lots of unemployment happening or layoffs happening. And it started last week when we were in Florida. I saw Carvana let go either 1,200 or 12,000 people. A lot of people, no matter how you look at it. Even the company I work for, Compass, just announced 450 people that were laying off. And granted, a company that's newly public, etc., they need to learn how to cut the fat. And sometimes you do have to do that. I don't think it's agents. I think it's the internal administrative staff that might be leaving. I'm not sure how that's doing. I don't really care. Redfin announced layoffs. What's going to happen next, based on history, is construction halts. Lumber demand is already down. I just said that, right? Lumber demand. That means construction demand has waned. You're going to start seeing home builders stop building. You're going to see construction projects sitting dormant for the next couple of years until this thing kind of turns around. But guess what? The same thing happened in 2008, 2009. We saw construction projects slow down or stop altogether. And you know what? The economy came back, and it's normal. We've needed this to happen. We've put this economy on stilts for the last 3, 4, 5 years. The last time in 2018, we saw the market kind of do this, kind of coast for a few months. It was like 6 to 8 weeks. And it took off again. And then COVID happened. We stalled for about a month because we had to go, sit down and shelter in place. And then the market just bolted and took off. And then you started seeing a bunch of gurus telling you how to buy houses and apartments and condos and Airbnb them. And now they're gone. They've already disappeared. I mean, there's still guys out there trying to sell you that snake oil. I never believed in that kind of crap anyway. So let's take a real quick look at what's going on. Today's mortgage rates, 5.5%. It's far cry from 2.25% last year. Last year we had the most refis done, and I think like 4 point something trillion loans were done, created. Out of that, half of those were refis. Refi market just boomed. Everybody in the lender market did amazingly well. Now it's gone. That's completely dried up. Housing market, because of this, it's made it less affordable. Now, I'm going to ask you. Sorry, people are talking in my room. Hang on a second. What happens if it goes to 10%? It's going to dry up the market. We're going to have massive amounts of inventory. And if you know Economics 101, when supply outpaces demand, prices retract, right? Now, my office manager seems to think that this is a good thing for right now. Yeah, right now, when I'm going to show you the numbers. We're at par, kind of where we have been for over the last few years. The last few years, you saw the market tank. I mean, the market inventory shrank and demand went sky high, which is why prices are at where they are now. And a lot of people took advantage of it. You know, I was calling and texting a lot of my clients over the last couple of years, and say, you guys sold at the right time. I have a listing in Sunnyvale that's sitting there, and we have to have that conversation about lowering price. It sucks. I hate the fact that we have to do that, but you know, timing is what it is. I put a lot of pressure on my project manager to get the house ready so we can get it on the market to prevent this. So, you know, there's nothing we can do. We don't have that crystal ball. 2 weeks ago, that number that's highlighted, 182, right here, see it right here, 182. This is 4 or 5 counties, not including, you know, greater northern Bay Area. That was 125 2 weeks ago. 125, 130. That maybe I don't remember. You can go back and check a look and tell me. That'd be awesome. So houses that tend to stay on market longer, that number's growing. That number's going to continue to grow, because right now what buyers are doing is saying, hey, real estate market, I wrote 20 offers and y'all said no. I'm just going to sit on the fence. And I have buyers sitting on the fence right now saying, I'm just going to wait, see what's happening. I want to see what's happening, right? What are some things that could happen, right? People are going to get used to the idea that rates are high. I just better jump in while the getting's good, and the market will continue to seal itself. Houses are still selling. As a matter of fact, I think we had, what was the number? 1,100 homes, all different homes, PUDs, condos, townhouses, everything, going to contract last week. It's still a good number, right? San Jose, this number, we're going to look at this in a few minutes, but 543. I wanted to show you what the numbers look like across the nation. I sampled a few different cities so we can kind of get an idea of what this number is. Is it regular? Is it normal? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it who cares? Or is it just good to know? Because what are we going to look at next week? We're going to look at the same numbers next week and say, hey, 545. Now it's 750. Holy crap, what's going on? And I also have this Wikipedia thing just so you can tell. San Jose, where is it? Is 178 square feet and 1 million people. So keep that in mind. When you look at Tampa, look at Tampa real quick. $114, so about 70% of the land mass and 384. So roughly 40%, well, 37% of the population. Tampa has 892 homes. So almost, well, 1.5 times, right? So when we look at Cape Coral, in fact, that's where I was yesterday or this last week. Cape Coral is pretty amazing. And we can go on an off video discussion about that. There is no discussion about that. Cape Coral is pretty awesome. This area is relatively small. It's relatively new. There's not a whole lot of industry like Tampa. It's not a major metropolitan area like San Jose. It's more like a sleepy town. It's 2 hours south of Tampa. And then if you look at Austin, there's 1,696 homes. I just saw that as 1,800, which was what I looked at yesterday. So about 100 went into contract, which is good, over the last day. So again, those numbers are really important. Austin, let's take a look at how big Austin is here. It's 319, so it's a little bit larger by 140 square miles and a little less. We remember San Jose is 1.1, so it's a little bit less in population. However, it has 3 times the listings. Same thing with Atlanta. It's 1,100, so twice the listings. Los Angeles, which is 3.5 times the size of San Jose in population and roughly square miles. It has 5 times roughly the amount of listings. Now, again, it's huge. It's a huge city, major metropolitan home or city. Chicago had 2,057. Let's see how big Chicago is. Chicago. It's 227, so about the same size square footage and 2.5 times the population as San Jose. It has 5 times the inventory. I just did New York just to check it out, 3,571. These are single family homes, not including condos, etc. I don't know what that number would be. Let's take a look at this. $20,000. Holy camoli. So inventory is now peaking, I guess you can say. And we said that a few minutes ago. When supply outpaces demand, you're going to see houses, the prices shrink. It's a normal thing. And I've been waiting for this for a long time. Should we panic? Should we jump off the bridge? Should we panic sell? Should we go into short sell and let the banks take back? No. If you can afford it, hold your homes for as long as you can. Because in 2008, that's what we were telling people. A lot of people couldn't afford it because, they couldn't afford the $4,500 a month average payment that they were paying for a house. Now it's going to be a whole lot more. I understand that. If you lose your job, I understand that. That's going to happen. But if you can, by any chance or mean, save that house. It will come back. The market will come back. What I've been postulating, and I'd love to have a discussion with somebody about this. The people that bought on speculation on apartments, condos, cabins, etc., in vacation areas to rent those places on Airbnb, what's going to happen? Is that market going to dry up? I mean, is this a good time for buying a second home? If you see the market drop, is this a good time to start buying rental properties? What's going on with that? There's other things that are out there like institutional buyers. There's BlackRock and Vanguard and all sorts of different companies that are buying homes about 30% at a clip in the Sunbelt areas. So from Arizona to Florida, 30% of the homes that go into contract are bought by institutional investors. And that's going to help save those areas for a little bit. But at the same time, if we're going to experience mass layoffs, construction halts, all sorts of things, what's going to happen? I don't know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your input and maybe have a discussion on it. If you want to jump on a video with me, let's do that. If you're a lender, if you're a builder, if you're an economist, let's jump on it so we can share this information with people, because I think right now people just want to hear different ideas, different thoughts, and different concepts. I'm not playing Chicken Little. I listen to a lot of podcasts that are talking about what's going to happen, like the sky's going to fall. I also see the bright part of this. There's still demand. Houses are still going into contract. There's still buyers out there. There's just buyers that have been beat up over the last couple of years, and then they've just had enough. Case in point, I have one house that we put an offer on a couple of weeks ago. We lowballed it to stop the seller. They're like, nope, we don't want anything to do with you. Last week, while I was in Cape Coral, they came back to us saying, hey, we're ready to talk. So, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know where we're going to go, because now my buyers' rates have gone up significantly. So I don't know if they're going to say we're going to hold off or we're going to stay at the same price we offered. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'll tell you about it next week, because maybe it'll shake through by then. So that's pretty much all I wanted to do. Don't panic. Be prepared. One of the main reasons we went out to to Florida is to see if that's a place that we might want to retire to. We're looking at like 5 or 6 different places, but we're also looking at investment opportunities, seeing where the growth is happening. And unlike here in Silicon Valley, growth has pretty much already happened. I mean, you can kind of speculate and maybe like see between San Jose and Morgan Hill, maybe there's going to be some growth there. Maybe. But everything all the way up the peninsula, all the way around Alameda County and Napa County, that's already been kind of developed, right? You go to these areas in Florida and the Carolinas and Georgia and, even Alabama and the Gulf Coast of Texas. There's still growth happening there, massive amounts of growth. And we learned a huge amount of what's going on, where the growth is, what we can take advantage of now, what we can keep an eye on. And that's what we're trying to do. We've been working towards this for a very long time. And as I go throughout the next couple of weeks, I'll have a rundown of the differences between California and Florida, what I'm looking at, speculating, and that kind of stuff. And if you'd like to learn more about it, text me, DM me, give me a call. Love to talk to you. All right. I think that's way too much information for a quick live. We've been doing it for, I don't know, how long have we been on? 10 or 15 minutes. 20 minutes. Holy crap. I talked for 20 minutes. I'm Vito Scarnecchio with the Albatano Group, powered by Compass Realty, or just Compass. You can come look at my YouTube channel, Silicon Valley Living, and get to know a little bit more about me. If you have questions, if you have comments, please give me a call or DM me. I'd love to have that conversation. And if you want to jump on this video and have that conversation so we can talk to our audience, please let me know. All right, we'll see you out there.